Probably around 25. Meet a guy. He's the president of ASCAC. ASCAC was a group that was it was African Studies of Culture and Civilization. Was actually what the group was. Matter of fact, I was at that time. I'm working two jobs, staying busy. Me and the guy who was the president happened to work together, and he's trying to get me and trying to get me. He keeps telling me like, "You're a thoroughbred. You just need some different information." So I never would have time. He's like, let's go to the bookstore. We get some books. I never would have time. He said, I know you trust me. He said, give me the money for the books. I go get them, bring them back. I said, okay. First two books he gave me were Introduction to Civilization and Introduction to African Civilization, both by John G. Jackson. These two books intrigued me so much, it turned into a stint to where now I'm reading in excess of 300 plus books a year. I'm reading the Quran, the Bible, the Browder Files, Kabbalah, Judaism, the Medu Neter, Queen Afua, African Holistic Health, Stolen Legacy, Politics of Self, the I Ching, Franz Fanon, The Visible Man, Words of Power, The Superconscious, Nietzsche, Plato, Socrates, African Holistic Health. Yeah, I wrote them down so I could be better. John G. Jackson, Cessation of Conceptualization, Carter G. Woodson, Hinduism, How to Train the Mind, Marcus Garvey, James Baldwin, Frank Douglas, Booker T. Washington, Bantu and Yoruba philosophy, just to name a few. I mean, I went off. But just to kind of get into this, the type of personality I have, I was always a go hard or go home. Do it, put your all into it or don't do it at all. It was my perspective on things. So by the time I actually start, I'm reading these books, I start getting introduced to different dietary ideas, ideas about meditation, ideas about fasting. And at that time, because being an athlete, and was really that guy graduated college by now, and I didn't graduate. I had dropped out of college by now, and was looking to go into bodybuilding. So by this time, I've cut out the beef. Before then, I've been your typical American carnivore, but now I'm the no beef, and I started getting to these fasts. I started off with fruit and vegetable and water fast for 3 days. Then I just started water and just juice. And then I actually did Ramadan. And, noticing when I would fast, oh my God, energy off the roof. Now I also explain something, I'm already something's wrong with me. Not wrong in a negative sense, but I only sleep on average 6 hours a night. I mean, I got an engine that could. Like I said, I'm working two jobs, not including travel time between the two. That's 12 hours a day plus travel time, and this is not even wearing me out, So, but yeah, I start doing these fasts, start practicing Ramadan, and then I was like, why just do Ramadan during the month of August? I started doing Ramadan 2 times a year, 3 times a year, sometimes 4 times a year with the solstice and the equinoxes, because I'm beginning to be on a different level of a different cultural perspective association with myself and the planet. Okay, and then I started doing a modified version. When I started doing Ramadan more than once a year, I did somewhat of a modified version. No, I didn't eat from sun up to sundown, but I did drink water. And then the first time I did a just juice and water fast for 14 days. And the only reason I actually stopped at 14 days is combination of peer pressure, because people was worried about me where I wasn't worried about me at all. I will say in these longer fasts I began to do like this. First 3 days, especially that second, third day, dealing with headaches. But I just started to notice if I was reading a good book, having a good conversation, and a good conversation had to be some kind of edification type of conversation. began to sing, which I can't sing, but singing uplifting things, mantras, meditation, these things to make the headache go away. It was like they became that distraction. And then after that third day, no more headaches. But now I went from person who told you got too much energy to way too much energy. I mean, my energy is off the chain. Clarity as far as thinking, off the chain. And at the time, like when I'm working two different jobs. Like one job I work for the city, I'm doing physical labor. Then the second job I was working at I was a cashier at a liquor store. But I'm constantly busy. And this physical labor, I'm not eating nothing. Just water, juice, that's it. And I am never feeling fatigued, lightheaded, none of that. Matter of fact, I feel better than I've ever felt before. And then when I began to notice, because I'm not like just drinking the same kind of juices all the time, I'm kind of doing a rotate. After a while, I have no more bowel movements. My system has been completely cleaned out. And all I'm doing is urinating because, I'm drinking. And then I began to notice that depending on what the juice was, because depending on what the juice was, I might have a bowel movement. And then I know then like that's the things that were in that juice that the body had no use for. So then I was able to begin to notice, what products on the market had byproducts or had stuff in them that was of no use to the body. And then as I broke this fast, as I slowly introduced things back into the body, like I could introduce fruits. When I first just started off, I got bananas and oranges and apples and still having no waste. I'll urinate, I'll pass gas, but the gas has no smell. And actually, I was really gaseous. Now, that's one thing I did notice is I just introduced fruits back to the diet, really gaseous. And the reason I know it has no smell, I don't go off of what I think. You know what I mean? Look, I had a job at the same time I'm working for the Kansas City store, and a lot of times we'd be in enclosed small areas. And I'm in there cutting loose and don't nobody know it. But I had already kind of realized that was going on. So, yeah, things became very different.